Hey everyone, this is Maverick again with Screw the Script. Today's episode, I am starting something new. I'm going to be calling it the Thursday Throwdown. So I will be covering news of the week for both WWE and AEW from last Thursday to this Thursday. All the big news that came out for WWE will be covered in this video, and I will be making a separate one for AEW going forward after this video. So those key points I'll be talking about is the Hardys returning, WWE ratings over the last few weeks, but specifically this week, stuff on Penta, Ricky Starks, Orton's return, Becky Lynch rumors, and rumors about some talent being not pleased with SmackDown being 3 hours. But hey, like I said, this is a Screw the Script. We're getting rid of all this. And let's get into it. To start with this first ever Thursday Throwdown covering WWE, let's start with the Hardys. Matt and Jeff Hardy, staples in WWE over the years. They started in the 90s. They have come and gone a few times. We know that they were in AEW for a minute, not very long, and not utilized well at all. They had much more potential than what they were given over there in AEW. But now we see them in TNA, and with the TNA agreement in WWE, we saw them on NXT this past Tuesday, a couple days ago, which was awesome. And, give us more of Matt and Jeff Hardy for a final solid run. Give them the send-off that they deserve, kind of like how AEW gave Sting the send-off that he deserved. Do that for the Hardys. Jeff Hardy, the highs and lows that he has had in his career. No doubt is he a great wrestler in the ring. He is, the charismatic enigma for a reason. Outside of the ring, he had his issues. So did Matt over the years. But, they have both done a lot better at recovering from those issues. They are still amazing in the ring. They are a childhood favorite tag team of mine. I grew up watching them when I was younger, in their primes, the early 2000s especially. So, give them another title run. Maybe have them win some sort of title at Mania. If that's too soon, build up to that. Have them have this NXT run where they win the NXT tag titles, even if it's not going on Raw or SmackDown. They deserve it. Give them their flowers. Next, we'll move on to, I believe we were going to talk about the WWE ratings. That's right. So the WWE ratings, again, not climbing, not climbing to as high as they were. So the very first episode of Raw on Netflix, I believe, drew almost 6 million views live, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was like 5.9 million. And they have been under 3 million for the last couple of weeks now. Now, I did see that both Khan and Triple H, Paul Levesque, haven't really shown any disheartening reactions in the news of the ratings going down. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I also do think that they were expecting to have better ratings than they are having. Netflix is the biggest streaming service in the world. It's available in the most countries. It's available in the most homes, on the most screens. And yet, the last few weeks they've only been averaging slightly more than what Raw was getting on the USA Network when they were still televised. And so that just shows to me and, anyone else that looks up those news, hey, like, what happened to the other few million that they had on their debut episode? Where did all those people go? Why aren't they coming back? Why aren't they watching it live like the first episode? There could be all sorts of reasons for that. I don't think right now they need to really worry about that, even though they were just in the top 10 this past week. I believe they were number 10 on Netflix's top 10 shows. We'll see where it goes going forward. As of right now, I'm not seeing any, major indications that this is a big issue. Maybe they were expecting this at first. Who knows? The shows themselves, Raw has greatly improved over the last couple of years with Triple H now in charge, and it just keeps getting better. I find myself watching more and more of it. I'm not going to lie, for a while, I did not watch any WWE at all. I'm talking from, I want to say, like end of 2018 and 19, I really struggled. Personally, I did. And when AEW first started, that gave me another outlet, but I still held on to, being involved in the news and still keeping track of everything that happened in the WWE while it was happening for those couple of years. When Triple H took over, it was like a breath of fresh air. No more Vince, thank God. And now we got Triple H in charge. You got Shawn Michaels in charge in NXT, and man, NXT has really grown on me again. It's starting to feel like the black and gold days in like 2015, or I think it was like 2014 to 17 or 18, somewhere around there. NXT has just been on fire. WWE Raw has been on fire. SmackDown, we'll get into that right now. So the SmackDown rumor that I saw is that, and I don't believe I saw any names, but there's some heat going backstage where they don't like the structure of 3-hour shows. And you know what? I don't blame them. I really think that when Raw was on the USA Network, the 3-hour shows were such a drag, especially the format that it had. You would have promos, and then you'd have a commercial break, and then you'd come back to a promo, and then you'd see entrances, and then during the entrances, you get another promo, and 20 minutes would pass by before you actually get to the match. Now, that still does happen here and there on Raw, on Netflix, but they've gotten better. Whereas SmackDown, it's very much the same. The 3 hours feels like an eternity. I can't get through it. I just can't. I'm being honest. I cannot get through SmackDown. And I think the talent on the SmackDown roster, or just, the talent involved on SmackDown Weekly, also probably agrees, at least some of them, and that's why this report has come out. So, they need to do something about changing the structure, maybe just have it go back to 2 hours is what I believe. They have plenty of outlets to use their talent. You got your Raw show, you got SmackDown, you got NXT, you got the new thing that was announced, the new it's like a competition show mixed with, like coaching from some of the vets in the company. Like a reality TV show. I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name of it right now. I think it's just like 3 letters. But anyways, I'm kind of getting a little off trail here. Change the format on SmackDown. That's what I think they need to do, because these people complaining, you got to do something to please the people that are primarily on SmackDown about that. So Randy Orton got taken out by Kevin Owens on the November 8th episode of SmackDown, and there's rumors are that he is returning. We will probably see him return at the Elimination Chamber this Saturday night coming up, and hopefully that transpires into a feud with Kevin Owens going into WrestleMania. That would be a great match to put on the WrestleMania card, so I hope we see that. Randy Orton, one of the all-time greats, the legend killer early in his days, the Viper, Randy Orton is coming back, so that's some good news. Becky Lynch, also, rumors are that she has signed a new contract, and they are just waiting for creative options for her. My guess is they will probably get her involved after WrestleMania, maybe have her surprise return at Mania, but not be involved in a match, just a nice surprise return and a promo. Otherwise, save that for the first ever Raw after WrestleMania on Netflix. That would be a good grab for them. Get Becky Lynch to show up there, if not at Mania. Next, we'll talk about Ricky Starks, who is now Ricky Saints, who made his move from AEW to the WWE and NXT. So far, he has done great. He was definitely a wasted talent in AEW. He was used early on, the first couple of years, I want to say. He had that good feud with Darby Allin. He was part of, he was with Hook, I believe, or not Hook. Maybe it was Hook and Powerhouse Hobbs and Taz in that group early on. But he never really broke the mold after all of that. He did deal with some injuries. He was TNT champ, I believe, twice, for sure once, maybe twice. But really, after I want to say 2023, he was just not being used. No storylines for him. It was the right move for Ricky Saints to go to NXT, much like Brian Pillman Jr. did, who is now under the Lexus King name over there. So good job for Ricky Saints. I hope to see him keep excelling over there. He is in the prime of his career in his mid-30s. So let's just see where it goes. He'll probably make it to the main roster before the year's end if they don't have him have a long stand with the NXT title. Maybe he does win that and holds it for a while, and he stays in NXT for a little over a year. But I don't think you stretch it longer than that. He's not a very big guy, but he is very talented on the mic. So he deserves to go to the main card at some point in the future. Maybe win, the IC or the US title, or, push him to win one of the main titles. You don't need to have these big, hulking men always holding the titles. This isn't the Vince McMahon era anymore. Triple H would not be afraid to pull the plug on someone as talented as Ricky Starks to win the main title. So we'll see where that goes. Again, I said Ricky Starks. Got to get used to Ricky Saints. I do love his work, and so I'm excited to see where his career goes. Lastly, I just want to mention Penta on Raw. For me, I've been following Penta since his days before AEW. And yes, he's gotten older. I think he's pushing 40s, in his late 30s, I believe. And or at least mid-30s. He has slowed down in the ring, but he is still extremely talented. They are building him to be a star on Raw. My only gripe is I know what he's capable of. Maybe it's something that I'm just not aware of yet, that Triple H is, going to slowly have him build and build and build and build. But, I don't think the fans are that patient. I don't think I'm that patient, to be honest, with what I know he's capable of doing. And I remember on this past week's episode of Raw, Michael Cole made an interesting comment. Now, this isn't verbatim, but he said something along the lines of, it is nice to see the WWE Universe finally being exposed and introduced to a luchador that has taken the world by storm over the last 10 years. Now, that comment kind of sat with me funny because, yes, over the last 10 years, he has been arguably the best luchador in the world. But why are the WWE Universe, why are the fans just now discovering him? It really came off as a comment as if, clearly our fans don't watch AEW. So the last 5, almost 6 years he was over there, they didn't see any of it. So they're getting introduced now. Come on. It's kind of a tribalist phrase for him to say, I think. And maybe I'm just blowing it out of proportion. Maybe I just, took it too personally on behalf of Penta, but he should have been more well known by millions of fans and not just the people that watch AEW or the people that watched him prior, like myself. I mean, I love luchadors. This is why, I wear a mask for my videos. But I still love him on Raw. I love what they have done with him. Give him a great feud to keep going into Mania. And I think by next year's Mania, have him win a major title. Maybe not the WWE or, the World Heavyweight, but, have him, if Gunther goes on a long run, have him dethrone him for that title. I don't know, something. But he deserves his flowers as well, much like I mentioned the Hardys deserving their flowers early on in this episode. But again, yes, I love seeing where Penta is going in the company. And keep it going forward. And I think that's everything for today's episode. Again, this was Maverick with Screw the Script. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. Thanks for following, and thanks for watching.